Take two. All right, so we're getting the dew off of the windows, letting the truck warm up. Check out these loud brakes, guys. Oh, now it's not gonna do it. Today, this morning, first things first, we're gonna run to the landfill and take off all of the debris from the last 3 or 4 jobs that you've seen, hopefully. Because the funny thing is, as I sit here, I still don't know that all of the footage I've been trying to record is recorded. I know that some of it got lost, so I'm gonna assume that probably more than just that got lost. But anyway, we'll figure it out. It'll be something. I don't know what, but it'll be something, right? But we're taking off all this stuff in the landfill because it's been sitting at the house and just in the way. We've got a little bit of land, but there's no like back access because the way the prior owners have it set up, there's a carport in the way. Otherwise, I could use our backyard as a kind of a compost recycling area. But I've got to rearrange that whole setup so that we can actually get access to the backyard. Yeah. Basically, it just sits there and it's in the way. So it's been there piling up for the last week and a half, and I'm tired of working around it and not having our full driveway space. So we're going to drop it off. Um, you'll see here in a second how I layer my stuff because I don't have a dump trailer. And before you say it, I absolutely need to invest in a dump trailer. I make these runs enough at this point that I feel like it would actually be a worthwhile investment to get a dump trailer. Because I do this, what you're about to see, and multiple times a year. And then I also do mulch and pine straw multiple times a year. So it would uh actually be a pretty decent investment there. So that's something for another time. But let's get into this landfill. All right, they're mulching up the pile that's been building up. So that's cool. Uh, every time I come here, they ask me where my stuff is from because it's only for our county to dump here. And I'm like, you guys know me. You guys know I'm here once a month. And you know my stuff is from the county. So sometimes I'll mess with them a little bit. And I'll be like, oh, on Park Ridge Way, where do you know the Smith family, the Andersons? You know, oh, well, you know the old Miller farm down there? Oh, okay. Well, uh Mr. So and so bought it back in, and he's a really good friend of mine. And what we do is sometimes we'll go in there and we'll take care of some stuff. And are you familiar with so and so that works down at the Wendy's? Because look, I'm fairly certain this is a taxpayer facility. And again, they know me. Okay. And not only that, you'll get one lady that wants to come down here and look through my truck and stuff. And I'm like, a police can't, an officer can't even look through my truck without a warrant. Why are you snooping through like, like I've ever left something that didn't belong, like they know me. I don't know. Um, let's get you set up and I'll show you how I do my layering of my tarps. Alright. Just like that, I am covered in gunk. Let's see if we can get some of this mulcher on it in action here. Let's see. Check that out. That thing is awesome. See, I need to get one of those at home. We can just mulch everything up. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. Just chips it all up, man. Now, that's not something you'd want to put in your yard necessarily, but it's not too shabby. All right, so it was $15 to dump, and let's just see, net weight 900 pounds. I don't think that's right. Yeah, 15 bucks, 900 pounds worth of material. Not, like I said, not a lot at all, but you know, I do small trips like that at least once a month, you know, and just get rid of everything all at once, because I do have a minimum charge too, so I think it's like $6 minimum or something like that. Not crazy. We're very fortunate to have a relatively cheap dump site, you know, so no complaints. Even at 15 bucks, I'm like, hey, cool, no problem.
All right, so we're gonna roll right into this one. So this is a big job for one person. I definitely, moving into next year, I don't know. I kind of want to get help to do bigger jobs like this, but at the same time, part of my issue with hiring people is I'm very meticulous. I mean, look at this. Who else is doing this? Who's getting in there? Who's going that deep into all 12 or more? I don't even know how many rose bushes are here, but who's going this in depth, you know? And then what? I'm going to hire an employee, and then what? It's just going to not be done as well? It's really difficult for me to let stuff like this go. But if you're curious what I'm doing specifically on these roses, I do have a recent video called How to Cut Back Knockout Roses for the Winter. If you need an easier way to find that, just look for the blue labeled videos. It's a new system that I'm going to be putting together for my thumbnails. If it's got blue labels on it, it's going to be an instructional video. If it's got red or green, it's going to be one of these vlogs. So as you can see, we're getting in there, we're thinning these out, we're trying to make sure that we cut it in a way that next year it's going to grow in a tighter shape, in a denser shape. Because if you know anything about knockout roses, you'll know that they grow like crazy. They grow insanely fast, and if you don't cut them right, they'll get really bushy and they'll actually run into each other, and it makes it a lot harder to clean them up. And one issue with these roses in particular is that pretty much every year I have to fight vines in them, and there's really not a great way to deal with the vines, because you can pull them and you can get a lot of the root out, and it's like, oh cool, we got root, right? No, you can never get 100% of a vine out of the ground, right? Even just the little tiniest little shred of vine is going to sprout a new plant. And when the conditions are favorable, which, you know, vines are so prolific, it doesn't take much to favor growth for a vine. they're going to choke through all of these rose bushes really fast. And the thing about it is they will climb from rose bush to rose bush. They climb on this little wall, and it's I do this not hard cutback, but I maintain these roses like 3 times a year, and it's every 3 months or give or take. And in that span of time, those vines, even if I pull out the root, right, it will absolutely climb down 2 or 3 roses. It's kind of a problem. You can't really spray them either, because if you get a little bit on the rose, you damage the rose. And we just now got these things fixed from fungus issues. Alright, now here we go. Trying to fire up the chainsaw. We got a dead bush. This has been on its way out for a while, so we're just gonna chop her down. And now I ran into a weird scenario where this one actually is dead, but there's another little bush right next to it, and it's kind of just a weird, like, I don't want to cut it out just to cut it out, but it didn't look right. So like, I may cut it out later, but I just kind of left it for now. I was hoping the homeowner would let me know kind of what they were thinking about it, if they cared if I cut it out or not, because I don't know, some people get a little weird, like if it's green and you cut it out even though it's not really in a good spot, they'll be upset. Typically with dead stuff, it's like, okay, cut it out, no problem. But you'll see here in a minute, whenever I do get this out. Also working at a really tight spot, because this driveway, it's weird. It's like a big driveway, but at the same time, there's just no room to work if there's a car here. And then you'll see on the left side, right where the chainsaw's sitting, this green right here that I'm looking at. Like, I don't know. I feel like I should have cut it out, but at the same time, people get weird about if it's green and you cut it out, it's going to be an issue. Alright, so now we're rolling on to the tarps here. Now, part of this video, you can see these clippings here in this tarp. I didn't film part of it because this project, again, it's big. And a lot of this stuff is just like, I just need to get through it. I remember specifically at this time of year, getting these jobs done, it was like, I really don't have time to like film every single thing, but where I can, I'm just gonna stick a camera on my head and go. So here we are shaping this stuff up. And see, this is why if you look, that just big open spot with the weird green on the left side next to that lower pedalum, it's like, it really doesn't need to be there, but I'm just like, if I cut it, I'm gonna wait and get permission to cut it, right? I will say, having that dead shrub out made this part on video now, it made this part way easier, because I used to have to kind of like shimmy in here and try not to hit any of the electrical that's exposed. We'll move on the tarp down. So here's something that I'm curious about. I never see, there's a lot of people, I just don't see them using tarps very much, which to me it's like, certain jobs, yes, fine, perfect. But this job in particular, the mulch is the pine bark nuggets, which if you know anything about them, they're very, very lightweight and wispy, and they just kind of, they'll blow out with hardly any effort at all. So I want to keep things as clean as I can, but at the same time, it does take a lot longer to work with tarps. And you'll see on a lot of these little sections, I have to kind of like tuck the tarps in and kind of like double up on tarps and almost make like just blanket the whole area in tarps in order to try to keep as many of the clippings out as possible. And at the end of the day, I'm going to leave this job that day, and the wind's going to blow, and little clippings that I couldn't get while I was there are going to fall. It's inevitable. There is no like 100% solution, but I think it helps quite a bit. Maybe I'm horribly wrong and I'm wasting my time. Let me know in the comments how you handle stuff like this. But actually, because of the way this parking situation is, and it was hard to work in, I had to go back and redo this because I couldn't do my usual like step back and take a look at things method. And so when this car finally did leave and I got to look at it properly, it was a little lopsided, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, look, we're not all perfect all the time. I can only be perfect so often. You know what I mean? There's limits to my perfection. Clearly joking. But yeah, this is one of my favorite properties to do hedges on. It's got a really nice variety, and all the hedges are really healthy. It just, for me, I love trimming hedges. Honestly, I would just do this if I could get enough work in just trimming hedges. This is all I would do. The only real issue with trimming hedges all day, the thing that really stops me from just going all in on hedges, is the physicality of it. However, if I needed the rest, I could just space the jobs out quite a bit more. And the job pricing for hedge trimming, like stuff like this, is way higher than just mowing. So I wouldn't necessarily need to be constantly working all the time. All right, we're gonna leave camellias alone. You got little blooms in there, right there, and they're all throughout. All this new growth, that's what that is. So it'll look a little scraggly, but that's what's gonna bloom in February. You got these blooms that'll come out next, and then these blooms that'll come out in February. All right, man. These short days are gonna kill me, and then on top of that, we have the lovely fact that the V-Ride is by far the worst machine I've ever owned, and I'm just listen. This is the purpose of the channel is to document my life, and right now, my life is hell because the V-Ride is a piece of crap. I hate my V-Ride. I really do.
before I went over there, I did everything I needed to do. The deck is level. The tires are inflated. I did an oil change recently, so like it's in tip-top shape. The deck is totally clean. Okay, and I made sure like everything was good to go. We're greased up, yada yada. We should be in tip-top shape. That's what I do with all my mowers. Before I go on a day to mow a big lawn like that, just to make sure like everything's good, right? Well, how would I know that the belt that drives my backer fan is gonna snap? like like if something's not gonna go wrong with the mower itself, it's gonna be with the accessory, right? Like is that just my lot in life with the old V-Ride there? Am I just destined to be constantly complaining about it? Certainly what it feels like. And I apologize if you're following all these videos and getting tired of it, but here's the deal. Okay, fine. You know what? The lawn, it is tall, it is thick, it's a little damp, but it's honestly, genuinely, really not that bad. There's not that much material coming off. I looked into the bagger, and I'm like, oh, I could probably just mow it. That's fine. So I shrug off that the belt is broken and throw it up and take the blower off and throw it in the truck, and I start mowing, and it is without the blower, without the bagger on it, the darn thing is mowing worse than it's ever cut. I can't comprehend. It just, so I look at things, I can't figure anything out of why it's cut. So I just start double cutting, and then all of a sudden I notice, oh, it's cutting well now. Like it's like it's an intermittent problem now. Like it just suddenly started cutting well, and not super well. Like there's still a ton of scragglers on that lawn, but I needed to get it cut while it was dry. But like it's done, it's striped, it looks fine, but I know it could look so much better if I didn't have such a piece of crap lawnmower. Like, oh, it's so frustrating, man. It is so frustrating to make that kind of an investment and have it be a dud. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. Like, I'm probably just gonna drop it off at the dealer tomorrow and say, please figure it out. or if there's anything to figure out, like just whatever, I don't know. It's just a frustration. So I've got to go back to that one tomorrow.
All right, so now it's time for the fun stuff. Which here, what you're looking at is gonna be a big old, I want to say 15, 16-ish foot tall hedge. I'll let you extrapolate. My orchard ladder that you see me on here in a few minutes is a 12-foot tall orchard ladder. And you can trajectorize, guesstimationize how tall this holly bush is. But this time around, I'm actually taking quite a bit more off of this shrub, just because the thing grows like crazy. And I've mentioned in the past that every so often you're going to want to do a pretty heavy cut back on everything. This particular shrub I could probably cut way more off of. But again, it's one of those things where I need to get permission to do that on something that's such a prominent feature in the landscape. But the way that I've described plants like this in the past is the reason they want a hard cutback is because you have to imagine 9 times out of 10 when you're doing hedge trimming, you're doing just that. You're trimming. It's like getting a haircut, and you just get a little shape up, right? You just get the lines a little tighter. You get the shape of your hairstyle just sort of maintained. But now imagine if you go in to get a haircut, and over 5 years time, eventually you're going to get in there, and imagine what if your head grew these little bumps in weird little spots, right? And they grew unevenly. You would never be able to get a proper shape out of that hair. You might not be able to get that same hairstyle, so to speak, because you've got not only the hair growing, you've got the scalp essentially growing, or the base of the head. The head itself is actually growing, which the plant in this case, the new growth, the bright green shoots that I'm trimming off here would be the hair, and then the branches and the tree itself are the head in the analogy, right? The stuff you see is growing out, yes, but also the stuff that is tucked away behind that, the branches, the stems, the trunk of the tree, all of that is growing and thickening up as well. So eventually, it's gonna need a pretty hard reshape if it's gonna continue to be maintainable. But this is why this property is one of these that I really enjoy doing, because like there's just such a variety. It's not a huge landscape bed, but it's such a variety of plants and techniques that you get to use. And again, like, yes, we're in this for the money, for the profits, for the business, but I genuinely love what I do. And like being able to do all these different little skills in one little spot is just, it's very rewarding for me. You can see kind of in the bottom there's little boxwood topiaries, so I get to get in there with my little hand shears, my Okatsanu hand shears, and shape those up, and do the sanitizing. Like, just weird little things for me. I really enjoy what I do. I'm not just getting. I guess initially, I was getting into this to, escape the rat race. Just trying to get out of a bad situation or whatever. But part of the reason I think this really works out well for me, this business, is that I love making this stuff work and look great. It's just such a rewarding job for me. It's not just making as much money as fast as possible, you know what I mean? All right, so as we go up the ladder, here's a little fun fact about myself. I am deathly scared of heights. So up to this point is about as high up as I want to go on any ladder ever. And just to put that into perspective, technically, I can walk all the way up to the red step and be perfectly safe, according to... You see that red step? I could walk all the way up to the one right before that and be perfectly safe, because of the way the ladder is designed. But I don't know that I'll ever do that, just because, like, I kind of make a joke, when I go up there, man, I'm clenched, if you know what I'm talking about. I could bust up some concrete if I fell, because I'm that, like, listen, dude, heights are not for me. So that's probably one of the biggest downsides of doing something like this. But at the same time, it's still rewarding enough that, like, you know what? I'll hop up there and we'll make this thing look as good as I can get it. Okay, and you can see right here around these trees, and if you want to go back a little bit and see how I have my tarps laid out, there's actually a bunch of roses here, and you can see me picking through them there. The way I do it is I lay my tarps right up to one side of the roses, and then on the other side of the roses, and then I lay one long tarp over top of all of that, so that it kind of funnels everything down and away from those little roses and keeps them clean and clear. Because if you get these clippings in those roses, you're going to be out there picking forever and ever and ever. And now as we get over to the side, I do get a little bit looser with my tarpage, my tarpulation, and I can blow things out a little bit easier on this side. There's not as much stuff to get hung up on. But I love these little medium-sized hollies. Man, I could do this hedge trimming and landscape. I could do this stuff every day, all day, and never get tired of it. Problem with it is again that it's such an expensive job. Like I could probably get plenty of work doing it, but at the same time, there's just no telling. And the mowing side of this business is so reliable, especially in our area, because things just grow like non-stop. Like to give up the mowing clientele I have would be kind of a stupid move. I was actually planning, if you check out some of the older videos before this, I was kind of planning on going scorched earth with my client list, because while it is nice to have the reoccurring revenue, it sucks to be out every single week, constantly going. So I was gonna just drop a bunch of lawn care customers and like try to go a different direction with things, but thinking about it, we're just like, we could certainly do that, but it would be kind of stupid to just haphazardly cancel everything and move on like that. So I thought better of it, and just did a little price increase, and we'll put it in their court to cancel next year, right? But check it out, man. This lower pedalum's nice too. One thing I really like to do, which again is it's one of those things you have to get permission for, because certain people don't quite understand sometimes, but I haven't asked on this property, but I'll go and I'll limb up the bottom and just keep all the growth on top and kind of almost make it like a mushroomish type look. But yeah, again, here we are again with talking about all those techniques you get to use. This is a selective pruning technique, and basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to shape it up or cut it down and lower the height of this, because it is kind of outgrowing its space a little bit. So what we're doing is we're lowering it just a hair, and you keep seeing me step back and go back and step back and walk in and step back. That's just because I don't want to take too much off, and I don't want to make it uneven or lopsided. So for those wondering, this plant is called Distilium. It's a really nice plant, and it actually this year is the first time I've ever pruned it, because again it just took off. We had a ton of rain, and I didn't prune it last year because it looked good, but this year it just went crazy. So we're really kind of, on these particular ones, I'm kind of just taking from the middle of the plant, because that's what's sending that upward growth. And that it kind of evens it out and makes it look appropriate for its space again, because it's getting a little too big for its britches there. So I'm having to cut it back and kind of reshape it. And this is something that there's no real easy way to explain on this plant, other than just to say, make it look good. It's not like a rose bush, a knockout rose, where you can make proper cuts or select proper points to cut. That Distilium, it's just kind of like, make it look good, make it look even as you can. Don't take hedge trimmers to it, because that's not going to look quite right, at least in my opinion. But obviously, you know how this industry goes. There's a range for everything. There's stuff that I'm doing which is a little more meticulous and OCD that people will appreciate, and then there's situations where you could just go in and hack everything down with a hedge trimmer, and That's totally fine. And I don't say hack everything down as like a negative. Like, again, I could probably come in here with hedge trimmers and hack all these roses down and be perfectly fine with the customer and all that, right? But I know from my experience that doing it the way that I'm doing it, these roses are going to bloom more. And then I do it again next year, and then the following year they're going to bloom even more. And you can see them here. This is when, in November 4th is when this footage is taken, and these roses are in full bloom. Which is again, it's just, if you don't do it right, they just don't look that good. But doing this too, you actually eliminate a lot of potential fungus, stuff that you can't really see yet. You get rid of bugs that you can't really see yet. You really kind of, you give the bush a reset in so many different ways when you do this, that next year, it just really gives it a good starting point. It's like New Year's for a rose bush, right? It gets a new start every single year. But anyway, that's it for this one. Voiceover is done. Thank you so much for watching. Again, these are a lot of work. Do the voiceover, all the music is mine, all the video recording, everything, all the shorts on the channel. So if you have any appreciation for the hard work that goes in, please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much.